Are we good? Yeah, we are good. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Carpe Noctem, uh, Vampire the Masquerade V5 actual play. We have a lot to cover. And a lot to do this session, so we'll just dig right into it. First things first, we are 3 followers on Twitch away from our goal, which is freaking sick. Which means I am destined to wear tits on stream. Eventually, it will happen. Yeah, so there's that. Thank you guys all for that, and for such a short, to us, what feels like a short period of time, us getting to here. It's a big deal. We want to thank you. It's all big. It's all awesome, and I cannot be more grateful. Now, also, our YouTube is up to date. So if you've been wanting to get caught up now and consistently, will be good to upload to YouTube. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, our link is in the description below. And if you are watching this on YouTube, welcome. Share this with your friends, anyone who's into actual plays, all that fun stuff. We would love to have more and more people. We're talking about a Discord, maybe even once we get to 150, dare I say a Patreon, but it wouldn't be anything. It'd be like $1. I know times are hard, and this is a privilege for us, and so I would never ask anything that much of you, if anything, which you don't feel no, it's not even there yet, so don't worry about it.
Future plans.
Just wanted to let you guys know beforehand. We also have a Hunter game coming up on Wednesdays. It's going to be later on in the night, so stay tuned for that. Now, before we get in any further of our dark story, one moment. Okay. Content warning. There's World of Darkness is really chaotic. We do have we're not streaming to YouTube. Our episodes are backdated to YouTube. So if you want to check us out there and all the cringe that we VODs only on YouTube. Yeah, VODs only on YouTube. So revel in the cringe and the edge. It's great. So as I was really quickly saying, content warning: Vampire the Masquerade and World of Darkness in general is a dark setting. The degrees of darkness depends on the storyteller, the lines and veils that we all have. I've talked to all my players implicitly on their lines and veils, and everything has been cleared beforehand. And if there is something that challenges that, they will let me know, and we will stop and readdress and refigure everything out. So we have a system for that. But that being said, to those watching this, content warning would be violence, gore, abuse, kidnapping, mind control, Machiavellianism, mutilation, removal of personal agency, drug use, some phobias, either homophobia, there's sexism. A lot of our hold the actions of our coterie to the characters, not to the players behind them, because this is a dark setting that is supposed to mirror our world, and you can't have good heroes without good villains, and our cast kind of rides that line. So on that note, I think that's everything. That's on everything. We'll get right into it. We're gonna start today's brief recap off with Anar. If you want to take it away.
Sure. So Anar Navi, Clan Malkavian, and last time quite a bit happened. There was a conflict in an abandoned apartment building between Simon and Hugh. Anar was not there for that. Anar was at Crimson's club down in the interrogation room, still sans eyes and exploring blindness. So I'll let some of the other kindred go over kind of the specific things in their recaps. But we did receive a phone call from Hugh and got a street name, and then the call was quickly cut off. and Anar attempted to get a premonition to see what was happening over there, and the premonition was laced with imagery of something about to be destroyed, and so he relayed that information to Crimson. At which point Crimson left the club and went in pursuit of Simon and Hugh. And Anar, his ghoul Sven, arrived at the club and was able to escort Anar back to his parlor for the evening, where he tried to mend himself up a little bit by feeding, and had Sven go and find something to fill his empty eye sockets to prevent his eyes from growing back in. And that's all from me.
All right. We'll turn it over to Hugh.
So last time, of course, there was that big explosion. Crimson and Anar went back to club, and I chased after Simon and Tony. Caught up with them, and we all went to a crack apartment. Simon kicked out the crackheads, which was unfortunate because I kind of wanted to feed one of them to Tony. But Tony was not having a good time. He was in torpor. His blood appeared to be very thin and runny. He was not in a good spot. And Simon decided to ask me about what was going on with the amulet and things like that. And I said, I'm not going to talk about it until Tony's awake because it's Tony's business. And I want to talk about it with him first. And then Simon decided to start asking me about somebody named Tully, who I don't know, because I can't know everybody in the city. I only know half of them. I said, I'm not going to talk about this. I don't know who the fuck that is. Tried to give Crimson a call. Got out a street name before Simon decided it would be a good idea to destroy my phone. And attack me, again. So I was like, you know what? Tony made his choices. He's a grown man. Get records. And I jumped out the window. Crimson managed to figure out where I was through the help of one street name and some crazy man premonitions, which I appreciate. Met up with them, saw everything. Hugh was kind of out of it. Had a little bit of a runny mouth because I'm also not in a great spot right now. Went back to the club and decided to bunk down there for the night. That's going to be it for me.
And then I forget, did you leave the club the next day or the next morning or the next the next evening?
No, I didn't. Crimson had her meeting and I just decided to go wait in the club.
Okay.
And
perfect.
then in the basement I told her she should try to get along nicer with Tim because Tim's just trying to do his job.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Speaking of which, Crimson
Rose, Clan Toreador. Crazy. Like Anar said, we got back to my club. I set him down in the interrogation room. Came upstairs to find it completely trashed. Somebody had broken in and destroyed everything. Send a message. Got back to Tim being quite upset with me, to say the least. And then I got a call from Hugh, concerned onto where we, if I could come get him, because he's in a pickle. Tim didn't think it was a good idea, so he came with me. Lucky him, because I don't think I would have spotted Hugh without him. But got him, couldn't find Simon, so I decided it wasn't worth looking for him, because again, the sun was almost up. Came back to the club, had a call with Ballard. He has a job for me, and I accidentally spilled the beans on what happened at my club. Shouldn't have done that, but oh well. Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah, I have a job to get ready for, and then came downstairs to Hugh, saying I should be nice to Tim, which I kind of agree. I've been kind of a bitch.
How very Toreador of you. Yeah, if you didn't have anything else, well, Tony, we missed you. If you want to take it away.
Yeah. Let me just get my voice right really quick. Antonio Moreno. People call me Tony. Last I was here, I broke the amulet thinking that it'd get me closer to my wife, but actually what I'd done, I had killed her with my own hands. And after the blast, I was in torpor. And I wanted to scream, but I had no voice. I wanted to cry, but I had no tears. And I was stuck in this position where I didn't have choice in what I was doing, but at the same time, I'm coming to the realization that maybe I never had a choice, but I don't know. Tony, I'm a little lost right now. Just going whichever way my coterie is pulling me around. And from what it looks like, Simon's brought me to the Hunters. Seems I might be able to make good on my bargain. See what happens.
All right. Colton.
Not quite sure there's much point in doing a recap, but
That's fair.
last thing I remember was sneaking past the big guy, the Lovecraftian bouncer, and slipping my way out of the tunnels and enjoying a nice snack at the local wellness center.
All right. Simon.
Simon Graham, Van Gangrel. Last time after absconding Tony into a safe location, I evicted some crack babies. Decided to just chat with you, trying to ascertain the whole purpose of this amulet. He wasn't trying to answer the question. Hide behind Tony. Then I asked him who he talked to Elysium. His lack of answer was also an answer, which kind of revealed that his cleverness is probably the reason we had to deal with Tally now. At this point, I'm starting to realize that his way of playing this game is going to only lead to more problems. I lost my patience. Frankly, the way we vampires handle things is a bit too chaotic. So I decided to do things the way I know how to handle them. Besides, one of them were Tony's family. And in this time of need, this moment of loss, I think the best thing for him is family. But of course, he didn't agree. And he tried to phone up everyone else. Once again, cause more discord instead of finding solutions. So I let my claws out. And it finally happened. But I didn't go any further than a simple cut. But then I called my hunter friends and they retrieved us. Now, I guess I gotta wait and see what happens now.
All right.
That is all for me.
Now, one last thing I would like to add really quickly. If you hear crunching noises, it is my dog eating a bone. I promise everything is okay.
It's a feral gangrel in the corner.
Yeah,
That's some good background noise.
Yeah,
That's aesthetic.
yeah. Anyway, we're going to open up scene from the perspective of Colton. You sneaking into the basement. Well, actually, excuse me. I'll have you narrate it. It's the end. Morning is coming. Night is slowly turning into day. This is a little bit of a jump back from our perspective. This is the night prior, the night when you guys exited the sewer, the night Tony released, in big air quotes, his wife. Colton, I'm imagining you walking through an alleyway, footsteps heavy, stepping through puddles as the soft, like, fog of Chicago begins to hang low. Very moist air, heavy. If you were to breathe, you would feel it. There's a tension in that moisture. How do you approach the hospital? Is it through like the ambulance doors, or do you have access to do you go straight in?
Oh, the stairs on the side.
Yep.
I remember a scene where I was with the mangy mutt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as you descend into the bowels of this basement, where dead things are held due to some deals, what does Colton do at the end of his night as the morning quickly approaches?
Colton's still thinking about the most interesting thing he saw that day. The big homunculus, the big warrior, almost as tanky as he is. Well, a lot more so, actually. Something he couldn't actually beat in a fight. He wonders if that's just the natural pecking order, the circle of life, and that's just closer to the apogee than he is. Maybe he'll need to take out these feelings on something weaker than he is when he wakes up.
And I'm almost picturing Colton. Where do you sleep in this basement? Allow me to maybe elucidate the scene. It's dark, obviously. A couple flickering fluorescent lights on their last limbs. Barely able to stay operating. It's clean here, though. Almost an uncanny tidiness to it. Even the chemicals and the cleaning supplies are put away in proper places, all marked down with tape. So again, I kind of ask, where does he just kind of slump? Is there like a cot in the corner?
I think it'd be more amusing to simply be on maybe an old gurney.
Oh, yeah.
Under a sheet. Plus, sometimes Colton does just think of himself as a corpse.
And as you kind of lay down, you see her face for a moment. A flash of a nice memory of you and Veronica breaking into a mortuary. Her caressing that skull of a child long gone. Black veil over her face, over a classic black sweater hoodie, and some deceptively nice jean pants. What's Colton thinking about as these memories kind of burble forth for a moment?
There'll be plenty time for more of them soon.
Now, you close your eyes, and just as fast, normally you feel death come upon you and it takes a while, but for some reason, it was different tonight. You almost close your eyes and open them, and you feel time has passed. You sense it upon your skin as you stir, and you hear a series of panting and sobs. Waking up, taking a quick glance around the very familiar room to you at this point, you would see Sean. He's waving around a snub-nosed revolver towards the nurse that you have ghouled a while ago, who we haven't seen in a while. Her breath is afraid. There's panic in her eyes. You can see her eyeballs darting around the room as Sean's like, "Oh, are you finally up? What's going on, man? Didn't know you were holding out on me."
I hope this isn't going to be a habit. Waking me up, I mean.
Well, I mean, come on. It's what us Duskborn are supposed to do, right? Anyway, this chick, and he gives her a firm kick in the side, and she topples over with it, and he cocks the hammer back on the snub nose, and she's a little filthy traitor, man. She's talking to someone. I don't know who. Definitely someone. Someone who, she probably shouldn't have been talking to. For all you know, she's indoctrinated by the cult. Who fucking knows? Is she important to you? Like,
Have I not been feeding you enough, my dear?
you see, Sean kind of licks his lips. See, I didn't much like how our last conversation went. Kind of pissed me off. Didn't make me feel good. Didn't give me the warm and fuzzies. Because you asked me to look for the cult. And then you have the audacity to come at me and accuse me of working with the enemy when I'm just doing what I'm told. And then I start to thinking, maybe, just maybe, there's more to this than meets the eye. Maybe you're part of the cult. Maybe you just want to get back at your ex, right? And he kicks the chick again. The nurse who you know is Mackenzie, or Mick as she's colloquially known as by her friends, she looks up at you with pleading eyes as again she is knocked over. Blonde hair clumped together in what appears to be blood.
I'd like to put my arm over this young man's shoulders.
Yeah, there's a bit of distance between the two of you. He's in the far side of the room. I'm guessing about 15 feet is between the two of you. Well, yeah, 15 feet between you and him, and he's kind of standing over this Mackenzie.
Well, I'll just be casually walking over to him.
Hey, whoa, hold on, buddy. And he puts puts the snub nose to the back of her head. Let's hold off a little bit. Let's not get too close here. Let's have a bit of a conversation. See what you can do with those mitts.
Have you ever known me to be anything other than callous? I'll take more steps.
And this is now kind of social combat. I'm warning you, man. I'll fucking kill her. Roll me a... Now, out of character, do you, even if you were to lose Mackenzie, even if you didn't care about her, you know that she has been very, very, very useful in securing your spot here at the hospital. That and your security guard friend. So, are you trying to call his bluff, if there is one? Are you trying to intimidate?
He's trying to dominate him. What Colton says is true because Colton's saying it.
Okay. So he's going to roll me. Colton will roll me. I will take manipulation, intimidation. I will also take, I think that would be the best for this case scenario. He's going to roll composure resolve to hold his ground.
Should I roll because it's the start of the night?
Oh, yes, hunger.
Okay, and depending on how well that goes, I'm going to rouse the blood.
Okay. He's going to roll. Okay, so that's your blood rouse?
That's the hunger for the start of the night.
Yep, and so you don't get any hunger?
Well, I'll roll another one to rouse the blood then.
Sure. Oh, god damn. Lucky duck on you. All right. Go ahead and make me that roll. That's the manipulation, intimidation, and then plus your blood surge. God damn. What does this look like as you march him down?
At first, there's a bit of looseness in the way I walk, almost as if I've just woken up and I'm sort of slumped and doing a bit of a stretch, and then a bit like how Kaiser Soze straightens out his walk at the end of that famous film. I'm just suddenly walking completely firmly, just eyes staring directly at him.
It's at this point that you see like confidence, you see brashness, but then suddenly you'd see it begin to bleed away, almost like an artery cut, as it's almost like someone looking at a shark for the first time, and his hand begins to tremble. You see he begins to sweat. Oh, what it would be like to sweat again. You can almost smell the fear as he backs away from Mackenzie, and he's like, "Hey, I got guys. Let's talk. We can talk. We don't." And then he like snaps his fingers, and there's two more guys that like you've seen before. They're some of his thin blood friends.
I thought they were out.
Well, everyone spins a game. And besides, I was gonna surprise you, but like I said, we can. I just wanted to clarify some points. He says as you're getting closer, as this, you're now within like 3 feet of him. He has his gun still, but it's kind of still pointing at Mackenzie a little bit. But you see, he's trying to play it off like he's trying to be cool about it, like someone who maybe knows their way around a firearm, but like is now forgetting that 21-foot rule.
I'll look at him, look to the gun, smile, and just gently turn it towards myself. There, does that feel better?
Look, man, you came at me. You don't fuck with your own guys.
It's a lesson.
I'm gonna need you to, before we go any further in this conversation, still in social combat. What are you trying to do?
Well, I was actually kind of telling the truth.
Do you want to roll
But that
me
would
a?
probably be a leadership role, but I don't have any in leadership, so
I will also allow persuasion.
do
I'll
not achieve. None. So,
none in persuasion. I will. We'll say manipulation, persuasion, since I'm imagining that this isn't like. Well, you said this is truthful, so maybe charisma or manipulation, either one, and I will allow. Yeah, I would say persuasion would be the play. You still have your blood roused. I'll also take looking at this. I'll also take etiquette. I doubt you have any in that though. Oh my god, I have too many tabs up. I never thought I'd actually say that. There we go. Do you want to burn any willpower to re-roll that one dice, or do you want to? He's gonna roll.
I'll be good.
Okay. You see, he's like, a fucking lesson? The fuck kind of lesson is that? What are you trying to teach me? Trying to teach me how fragile I am? How you could kill me at a moment's notice? Is that what you fucking want? Well, hey, maybe it won't be so easy for you. Maybe I'm harder than I look to kill. Maybe it'll be you and Torpor. We can play this game, big guy, but it's only going to end one way. Unless you explain to me that we're on the same team, and you better have a good fucking argument. Because you really pissed me off the other night.
Let it out then. Hit me.
He blinks a couple of times. What?
It's just flesh. I'll take more. Hit me.
You see, there's a moment of like, do you want to roll intimidation again? Yeah, roll me. Yeah. Oh, buddy. How much did I? 1 second. 4. Okay. What does this look like as you confidently just stare him down? Oh, do you want to burn any willpower? Or do you want to keep it?
I think I'll keep it. It doesn't matter if he actually does it or not. The outcome will be the same.
You see, he looks at you. He's like, are you being serious? You want me to shoot you? And there's like a moment when he seems like he doesn't quite trust what you're saying. And then he eventually, you can see him slipping. Like fear is beginning to consume him more and more as he scrunches up his face and he pulls the trigger once. Do you try to mitigate the damage? Do you move in on him or do you take it?
I just take it. I don't try to mask the pain either.
You take 5 superficial damage as the 38 special rips through your chest. You can feel the heaviness of the gunshot, the heat. And you see he looks at the open hole in your chest and he looks up at you almost like seeking approval. But not quite. You see like there's still that fear. But like it's like tepid curiosity of like, is this another test? In fact, that's what he asks. Fuck. Is this another one of your fucking tests? And he like slams the gun into your head. And so now the muzzle is right onto your forehead. I will fucking blow your fucking brains out all over this fucking place and then eat her right in front of you. Is that what you want? Say something! You just think you can just threaten people and just get away and just shove them around? The hammer already cocked. He presses it again so you can see the skin folding around the barrel of Colton's head. We were partners. And now you accuse me of betraying you? Is that just silence?
If I give you more power, will you feel more in control, or will it just be more of this?
What the fuck does that mean? What? See Sean just kind of like, what? What do you hear Mackenzie kind of shifting, and it almost kind of snaps Sean back down. He's like, "Don't you fucking move, bitch!" power? You're gonna finally make do on your promise of diablerie? You're gonna give me another vamp. Is that what you're fucking offering me?
You have to take what you want, Sean. Is this what you want right now?
And his face kind of scrunches. You see some... Actually, do you want to... Yeah, no, you see, like... If... you'd see him at his wit's end. Something inside of him is slowly disintegrating. Sense. Reason. You see, he begins to look at you. You see his eyes go from between your making eye contact with you and then to your throat. And with that, he lunges at you, trying to dig his fangs into your neck.
Too slow.
So, are you dodging or are you gonna...
I'm gonna meet his teeth with my teeth.
Oh.
And it's going to be absolute carnage.
I guess we'll roll to see how this plays out.
Mutual damage, I hope.
Yeah. Okay. You got 4 successes.
So this is strength brawl, I imagine?
Yep. And I imagine that the two of you are just trading. God damn. Do you want to willpower any of those?
Yeah, I think I'll willpower the 3.
Okay. God damn. Either way, you see it's what does this look like? How do you go to bite him?
So he turns his head, leans down, but I imagine he hasn't really done this before. So there's like a stigmata, like a flutter of hesitation.
Yeah.
And at that time, I rush and I do the same to him, just a lot faster.
And you see your jaw. Well, our perspective will actually switch over to Mackenzie's as she sees these two creatures lunge at each other. These two creatures of the night. And Colton's jaw almost unhinged as it... What exactly does your teeth look like again? If they're all just jagged and sharp and rancid, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a masquerade violation.
Yeah.
It's not just unpleasant, it's unnatural.
Yeah. This unnatural like mouth of just teeth and fang. just rending into Sean. Not at his neck, but at his jaw. There's almost like a hydraulic press. There's a moment of where Sean tries to scream, but it's not fast enough, as you hear a series of wet, thick, crunching noises as teeth and bone begin to crack and shatter as it begins to clatter around on the concrete floor. Mackenzie looking on in absolute horror. Worst yet, Sean is still alive. His jaw.
Take his tongue.
You reach in, you grab. I'm almost picturing you grabbing him by the hair and just shoving your mouth into the void that used to be his neck and his mouth and his lower jaw. And I'm not even going to make you roll for it. If you want to pull out his tongue, it's not going to even. If you want, you can be visceral about it and do more damage. But he's not going to be able to resist you. He's never experienced this amount of trauma before. He's almost like a meat puppet. Barely alive, but still wherewithal enough to see what's happening. You see his eyes almost look checked out, but he's observing you. If you've ever seen in any wildlife video of a predator eating prey and how the prey just seems to give up and surrender to its fate, that's the way Sean is looking at Colton. Now, do you like swallow the viscera or do you spit it out?
I'm going to take his tongue and I'm going to whistle for my dog Pisha.
Yeah, you'd see the loyal hound. If you want to, I think this is the first time Pisha has been shown on screen before. If you want to describe her.
Oh, just a mid-sized dog, just the kind you'd see rooting around for garbage. In this case, medical waste. So
Yeah.
I thought I'd nurture that desire for human meat.
Yeah. You see the two guys who went with Sean. They look at each other, exchanging looks. They fucking bolt. They frantically run up the stairs. One of them, you can hear them cry out, "Oh God!" And you see Sean, crimson tears begin to well down his face as he's seeing that his friends that he thought he could trust leave him to his fate. Pisha, on the other hand, despite this morbid scene, wagging her tail, walks on over and sits right, looking up at you, Colton, expectantly, almost wagging her tail in excitement at this new treat that she's seeing before her. Mackenzie, you can hear her begin to retch and gag from behind you. Even she's not used to this.
Oh. Keep him alive, would you? And I'll throw the tongue to Pisha.
Pisha excitedly, like you know how dogs do a little tap dance, like the little little paw thing. Yeah, she's like excited and she just quickly like slurps up the tongue and begins to chew it like a dog would chew like fat, just like constantly chewing like animal fat and just goes. And she's just kind of like lets it go a little bit, and she kind of like she starts to play with her food a little bit. She like tosses it up for herself and chases it into a little corner where she can enjoy it.
Now, I'm no guru, but enjoy this time without a voice. Yes. I don't know, take this time to observe people. I've heard that's spiritually healing, and you might come to a new perspective on things.
You see there's like a twitch of his arm, and as you see, he kind of, his eyes kind of flutter. He looks like he's like checked out. You can tell he's on the brink of torpor. Actually, I don't think thin bloods get torpor, so he's on like the brink of death.
Get him a blood bag, would you please?
Mackenzie is just the shaky breath. What? He was a monster, but why? Why this?
It's an expensive education.
You see, she looks at him and
Keep Pisher around. If he tries to grab you again, just nice high-pitched whistle twice. Should set her off.
you see, like Mackenzie looks at the dog, at Pisha. A little bit of disgust in her face, seeing the, like, I'm picturing now almost Pisha underneath one of the flickering lights. You can see this otherwise very innocent-looking shaggy dog, long hair, but like blood, dried blood, all encrusted over this dog's face, as she happily chews on her little tongue. You see, fuck. And she looks at you. I was gonna come see you, actually. Before. She gags a little bit as she looks over at Sean. For he came. It's been a while.
Silently, I'll just start finding something to collect the blood oozing from my bullet hole.
I imagine there's an old plastic hospital pan. Funny discarded hospital equipment down here.
Mm.
And you see she looks up at you almost as if a lover would. Almost still disgust on her face, but there's a certain sort of respect in her eyes. The way one respects a lion or a force of nature, a hurricane. She stares at you with awe. And she looks at Sean. So these ones can come out during the day. What makes him different from you?
Bloodlines.
That's it?
He's an animal like me, just weaker.
And on that note, we kind of pan out for a moment. Hugh and Crimson. You two are still together. I take it you guys are in the basement, if I remember correctly?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are you two doing? I remember that you were on your way to get ready for a little party. Crimson.
Yeah, I can. I would go back up to Tim and ask about any and every little detail and bit of information I can about the man I'm going to see.
Yeah, so we'll go through that really quickly. While you're doing that, Hugh, what is it that you're doing?
There's still empty crates all over the basement, right?
Yeah, some of them not so empty.
Some of them not so empty.
Some
I'm
of them
sorry.
not so empty.
The one I put Tony Jr. in is like all nailed shut, so
All right, I guess I'm gonna take the C4 out of my pockets and just start like rummaging around and seeing what other like rifles there are left.
Yeah, you see there's plenty of AK platforms. Since you have your C4, you feel it in your pocket as you start checking rifle actions.
Beyond that, I'd just be waiting for Crimson to come back down so we can talk.
Okay. Crimson, you go up to Tim. What is it that you ask him?
she, like I said, asks.
We'll ask him.
Tim, you have information on this guy I'm going to see, right?
Are you ready?
No, but I want to at least know before I go.
Do you want to know what's all going on? As far as, are you sure? I didn't mean to. If you have other shit you want to do, go ahead and knock it out now.
Just tell me so I have things so I can think about it.
You see,
Compose myself.
he pulls out reading glasses, and he pulls out a notebook, and he starts flipping through pages, and So, long story short, have you ever heard of the app Parcel?
Can't say I have.
It's an encrypted chat site. From what I know, it's kind of a going under business. There was some big scandal with it a while back, so it's a dead, what do you say, business? Either way, it's dying. It's on its last leg, and unless he can figure out, by he I mean James Corinth. He's the principal that we'll be discussing, and the one that you're going to be getting by any means to talk him into having Ballard, or you, not necessarily exactly Ballard, but you, invest in, essentially. However that works, whatever means necessary kind of shit.
Whatever means necessary.
As far as blackmail, he is pretty clean. He's in his 28s, late 20s. He's a bit of a ladies' man. He likes to party, and he likes to be young. Not under the legal limit young, but young enough to the point where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, Crimson would get like a disgusted look on her face.
Which is why Ballard thought that you would be perfect.
Does he have a type?
Yep, and you're not it.
And what do I need to become it?
Well, I think if you had to get my 2 cents, you could probably entice him enough with how new you are to the scene. Little rich girl, a lot of money. You're going to be very different than a lot of the previous party goers that frequent his penthouse. So you'll have an advantage there. I think that if you play to his insecurities, I think you won't need to change much.
Got it.
Play up the freakiness angle. I don't know what. Anyway, so you'll know him. He's dark complexion, kind of a caramel complexion, I guess you could say. Curly black hair. Kind of a fuckboy, for lack of a better phrase. You'll know him. He's the one with the most stupid smile.
They always are.
I have other pictures in an actual dossier folder if you want them, but
just put them on my desk. I'll get to them.
Oh, excuse me. I read this wrong. Gabe Corinth. Excuse me.
Mm,
Um, yeah. Essentially, what's the reason why? Well, I guess you don't need to know the reason why, unless you want to.
anything helps.
Well, one of the reasons I'm not sure if you're old enough to this, but there was a thing called ShrekNet. Okay, it's back in the days when Nosferatu would have control over the internet.
Mm,
They had their own little form of it known as ShrekNet. Um, well, the Second Inquisition got into it. And essentially, Ballard's looking to fill in an otherwise open market.
got
And
it.
he thinks that this app, Parcel, could be a big, big boon to him and put him on some kind of economic hegemony and making a point to the Camarilla that technology might not be as bad as everyone thinks it is, as long as he can justify that it's encrypted enough. But first things first, he needs to. I mean, if you want to play the blackmail card, whatever it takes, um, you have to at least get him interested. Ballard was being a little hyperbolic. I don't think he expects him to sign over everything and to sign in as being an investor just right off the cuff. But you have to get an in.
Got it.
Anything, as long as you have an in and he seems like he's biting, I can explain it to Ballard and I can do what I can to vouch for you.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, it's gonna be a upper class party for rich kids going to school, rich young business tycoons, a lot of crypto guys, some influencers, all that stuff.
Right. You have to talk about pretending to like crypto. That should be fun.
Well, your in is that, well, from what I can tell, you'll be trying to promote your club.
Mm,
Because
young
remember,
entrepreneur.
you don't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You, Crimson, don't have a lot of money. But Ballard has lots of money. So as far as everyone is concerned, you're just as rich as all the rest of them. You just have a lot of untapped income that you can play around with. I don't know. Make up whatever story you want. It's a little late to be spreading rumors about you, but I think as long as you play it cool, I think you'll be fine. Just know that the media still thinks you're missing, and that there's been a lot of whispers of you making a comeback here at the club. So if there's anyone from your scene that sees you, it might be a big deal.
Would a name change work?
Not really.
Mm,
We've already worked with your current alias on this club.
yeah. All right then.
Your art name, for lack of a better phrase. A lot of people, Anyway, that's what I got.
Thanks, Tim. Always looking out.
If there's anything else you need, I'm gonna be there at the club. I'll be not too far away. I'll be pretending to be your cranky bodyguard, so it won't be too much of an act.
Pretending?
The real reason why I'm there is that you're not the only lick that's gonna be there.
So it's a race.
It might be, it might not be. Remember, this is a penthouse party. This is where Ventrus, blue bloods, like to get their snacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that to think about.
Got it.
Now I believe you have a guest downstairs. You should probably see to him.
Yeah, as she said, got it. She'd started walking away.
You'd see Tim. He'd start minding his own business elsewhere.
Yeah. I'd head back down to Hugh.
Hugh, you would hear the creaking of stairs. As you would hear Crimson Rose come down at a probably expeditious pace.
She would just have a look of, thinking and, concern.
Let me guess this one, Crimson. Ballard has a job for you.
Oh my god, how'd you know?
Well, somebody definitely donkey punched him by wrecking up your club, so I'm gonna assume he wanted to get back at that.
Actually, had nothing to do with that. Surprisingly.
What does it have to do with then?
He wants to get his hands on something that no one else does. Or no one else has.
So what do you gotta
Startup
do?
of,
Sorry.
I have to go flirt.
And I'm gonna make a vague arm gesture to all of Crimson's body, and I'm gonna be like, and then a vague arm gesture to all of mine, and be like, do either of us look like we're in the condition to chase tail right now?
Not yet. Are you prompting another shopping session? Is that what I'm hearing? Don't you have things to do?
Unfortunately, I have one last phone call to make and some bad news to give you about this phone call. But first, I think we should probably both shower and then dress up, yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there more than one shower here, or, you got one?
There's one. And she'll point to, a little, closet type next to her actual closet. It's, kind of like a really, poorly done bathroom.
Yeah. It's a very, almost unfinished.
Shower, sink, that's it.
Like a half bath,
Yeah,
kind of
kinda.
awkwardly crammed into the corner.
Mm-hmm. There's still pipes coming out of the walls. It's, very shabby.
Okay, Crimson, you... Ladies first, I have to make a phone call.
Always a gentleman. And then she'd go in the bathroom. Start getting ready.
I take it that you dial the number.
And I'm gonna give a call to my sire.
Now, I cannot do an Italian accent, so you're going to just have to pretend that I have an Italian accent.
We've been pretending this entire time I have one, so
Yeah.
let's just roll with it.
That's fair. Actually, he would probably be speaking in Italian. Hugh, it's been a while. It's wonderful to hear from you. Do you have the news that I have been waiting at the edge of my seat for?
Yes, I do actually have a complete report of what the Tremere have been up to now.
Oh, and you hear the click of a pen. Are they as weak as they say?
No, unfortunately they're as strong as they say, but they're about as smart as a moose in mating season, so... And as destructive as one, too, as it turns out.
What do you mean?
Well, let's see. Your favorite little troublemaker Dusable decided it would be a good idea to get involved with a cult and a Malkavian. And a woman, all at the same time. Arektho is, of course, off doing her own thing, because she doesn't really have much. I tried to establish relations. She seems like she really only cares about what she's doing, but she may be supporting Dusable. The worst part, though, is, and I hate to hit you with the worst news at the last, but there's a blood witch in the sewers, who's also teamed up with a flesh crafter.
She's teamed up with?
Yeah, and it seems like, there's quite a bit of flesh crafting going on below Chicago right now.
Now, just to clarify, Hugh, when you talked to everyone down in the Undercity, in the Labyrinth, they said that they did not, that the mayor was trying to hunt down Lydia, not that they were teamed up.
Yeah, but I don't trust that.
Okay, so
I'll tell them this. I'll be like, I'm pretty sure they've teamed up, even if they say they have not teamed up. Because the Flesh Crafter, unfortunately, I think figured out my little bonding thing, or wants me for a different reason. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to be here anymore.
When you say Flesh Crafter, do you mean it's Samitsi?
That's what it's looking like, and they have been, busy.
Oh,
Ugh.
wow. Interesting.
The
Well,
Samitzi, whether or not I trust them, it does seem like the mayor of the lower city said he was trying to hunt down the Blood Witch, but I really doubt that's the full story.
It rarely ever is. And you think they're working together?
There's no way a Samitzi would let a Blood Witch stay in their basement. That would be insane.
Indeed. Well, what about this Portia I've heard so much about? Why has she been hanging around the chantry?
Question for the storyteller: how much would I know about Portia at this point?
Not much. You know that she has an interest in Crimson. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, I don't think I've interacted with her that much.
Nope.
Well, Portia is still being Portia off in somewhere. The girl I'm with right now seems to have an interest. Portia seems to have quite a big interest in her.
No matter.
And we're not. She doesn't seem to know why she's involved with the cult either, the girl that I'm with right now.
Likely just a Toreador wanting to learn some blood sorcery. I doubt it is anything too much beyond that. Well, seems like you have a pretty solid report here. What were their opinions of you?
Well, the women do seem to like me. Quite a lot.
Don't they always, Hugh? They always do.
Well, you know, there's a precedent for that. But, as far as the rest of the coterie is concerned, one of them decided it would be a good idea to touch the gangrel. So, you know, he's in torpor right now somewhere else.
What? I'm confused.
Well,
Did they send you off? I heard something about them sending you with some kind of job.
yes, originally, we were supposed to be figuring out what happened in the Nosferatu. And now
So
we're
busy
trying
work. Busy work.
Busy work to cover up, you know, all the other stuff they were trying to accomplish.
Fair enough. I think I've heard all I needed to. You are to come back to Rome immediately. I will arrange your travel, and you will likely hear from me in the next night or so.
Alright, I'm gonna help, of course, my wonderful lady with one last job, and then I'll be on the plane.
Fantastic. It's always good to hear from you. We have much to discuss upon your arrival.
Especially with what to do with these Tremere who think they own the place.
Less words. You never know who's hearing.
True. Alright, I'll see you soon, Thomas. Wonderful chatting with you.
As with you. And there's a
Click.
mine clicks. And there's
I'm
like
gonna
a
stand
moment.
there.
There's a moment as you hang up the phone here, when you hear the sirens of Chicago, life outside, and it kind of dawns on you: you might miss this place. As you look around this edgy club and its repairs and something that you might miss about it.
I'm gonna take that moment, look around. I'm gonna pull out probably the last cigar that I have from that pack. And then pat myself down, realize I don't have a lighter, and think, man, I wish Tony was here. And then I'm gonna think about all the other people that I've met along my trip in Chicago. And I'm gonna realize, well, I should probably give Mark and Selena a call, but I don't know exactly when. I don't know how long Crimson would be in the shower, so I don't know if I have time to call them or not. It would just be a quick call, me saying, hey, I'm going back.
As you as you think about this, we're actually going to cut away for a moment to Tony. As Hugh is contemplating missing you, you come to in what seems to be some sort of basement, unfinished. What is that noise? Okay.
You're going insane, man.
I think it might be Tony. There's like a buzzing noise. Am I losing my goddamn mind?
Let me mute myself.
Yeah, it's some kind of feedback coming from you. Sorry, excuse me. As we pan into you, as the perspective kind of moves to Tony, there's almost a familiarity about this place. It's nice, almost. As you begin to come to, you see what seems to be an IV with a blood bag. I need you to make me a rouse check, Tony.
Okay. What's my hunger and health at baseline?
Well,
at least?
you've healed 1 point of superficial damage, so you're just on the barest brink. I'll basically that'll be what this check is for, and then you can make me a check for your 1 aggravated.
Okay. All right. Here's that 1 hunger dice or 1 normal dice.
Sorry, excuse me. One point of aggravated is healed. Fuck me. Yeah, just 1 hunger dice. For, and then 1 more. So you have to make 2.
Oof.
You do gain a little bit of hunger.
Okay. And what's my hunger at?
It would have been at the same that it was at before.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
I'm
probably hunger 5.
Yeah, I'm at 5. Oof.
And as you start to think about like how nice this place is, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit because there's something. 1 second. Because it's driving me nuts. All right. As you kind of come to and you feel Hudson. You still feel her claws hanging into you. Her voice like claws on a chalkboard. You must feed, Tony. You must fight and prevail, Tony. You don't have much time, Tony. And then it's at that point that, almost bleeding from Sarah Hudson's voice, you'd hear, Tony. And hear the voice of Mr. Sunshine. You can't help but feel hungry. You find yourself restrained on what seems to be a gurney of some kind. As he watches you, almost studying you. And then you would hear a loud bang! A loud bang! Like rock hitting steel. And you see the balaclava face kind of turns and glances annoyingly almost at the outside. How did you sleep, Tony?
So, because I'm chained to this thing, and because I'm at hunger 5, and having experienced what I experienced, would I still be able to express what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're no longer in
Okay.
torpor.
Okay. He asked me how am I feeling? Uh, I killed my wife.
I do believe she was already gone, Tony.
I killed her soul.
Do you really believe that? Or has faith truly left you?
After we get me fixed up, I need to go to Holy Name Cathedral. I have a confession I need to make.
Well, we can't let you out the way you are. You are getting fed blood. But I think this is the first time that... And he goes to take off the balaclava, and you'd see a face that doesn't bear much similarity with yours. It looks burned. Like someone has taken his face to a 5,000 degree engine on half of the side of his face. There's bits of flesh that hang away where they're not supposed to, but there's some features that strike you as familiar. His eyes, in particular. The same hawkish eyes as you. It's a pleasure to meet you, grandfather.
And it's almost in that moment where, out of relief, Tony tears up just a little to know.
Yeah, you'd see bloody tears welling in his eyes.
That Angelo made it. But then the realization to know that his grandson is fighting in this war. No. No. Why'd you gotta get involved? Why are you doing this?
It wasn't my choice. God led me on this path. And if it is what he asks, I will be his crusader, doing what it takes to face the darkness, the hatred, the bloodshed. There has to be some end to it all. You'll be, in a sense, I'm named after you. My name, of course, is not Mr. Sunshine, but my father named me Anthony when I was out in Desert Storm. They called me Tony. You weren't the only one that was talented at violence. As it seems, it runs in our blood. Mine, perhaps, and he kind of gestures up to his face, perhaps a little hotter than yours. As you can see the leathery face of his just kind of quirk up a smile. Your friend is going to eventually break down that door. I'm going to let him in. You two talk. I imagine there's much for you to discuss. but calm him down. 2 of his friends are here, but even their words cannot sway him. It must be you who does it. There will be time to discuss more. I promise. And he gets up. And besides, I figured it'd be better if you fed on your demonic urges for the time. And with that, Simon, we switch perspectives over to you. Like dent after dent after dent in this door. It is, you see, as you're about to throw your last shoulder into it to finally rock it off its hinges. What's going through your head as you're about to bash down this steel door?
Well, actually, I was kind of actually done after the 2.
Say again?
I said I was kind of actually done after the 2.
Oh, excuse me. I thought you would have continued. I should have asked first. By all means, after the 2 punch marks, what do you do? The 2 punches. Sorry, I did not mean to speak for you.
Oh, you're good.
We'll do a really quick perspective into you, and then we'll do take 5.
I would attempt to go to hit the door a 3rd time, then I stop. Then I just sit in front of it, cross my arms, just say, "Fuck it, I'll wait."
It's almost as you sit down, the door opens, and that is where we will put a pause for now. We'll be right back.
Tony Jr.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
Well, are we out? Oh. So, Simon, your door opens to see a balaclavaed figure. Opening the door with, he seems to be unarmed. He's wearing kind of a jacket with kind of loose jeans. Your friend is waiting for you.
Is this Sunshine?
You can see, like, behind his mask, there's a certain smile.
It is. Get up.
You have a lot to talk about. And not a lot of time.
I didn't come here for me.
I know. I thank you. Despite what you may think, we don't hate you, Simon. We don't wish to undermine what it is that you want. I know you are trying to leave some good in this world, and I see you trying.
Okay, where's Tony?
He's in the cell immediately to your left. Sorry, it's the only place I can securely store your kind.
I get it.
Enjoy your conversation. And then you'd see him walking away. The door opens to your cell, Tony. The IV of blood, it's not filling you. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. You feel like you're going up a wall. Despite all of this sensation of recognition, maybe of even heartfelt conversation, it's still, you feel the blood and it's ruining this moment. Driving you mad with longing.
I would approach. It's like in a bed or something.
Yeah, he's in like what seems to be like a gurney. He's like secured with like heavy chains.
Oh, chains, not ratchet straps, just chains.
I mean, we could, yeah, ratchet straps. Ratchet straps are fine.
Alright.
Double ratchet strapped, like.
Okay.
Better say that's not going anywhere.
Approach the foot of the bed and say, "You look hungry."
Yeah. That never changes. So, what do you have for Simon?
See you.
Well, I'm here.
And you're alive.
I don't
You
know
kept it in
about
the
that.
bargain.
I don't know about that.
You
I don't know
don't.
about that anymore, Simon. I don't. I really don't.
Why is that, Tony?
I think something happened. Something happened when my wife died. I had a realization. As soon as I went to Torpor, I was so angry. I was so upset at everything and everyone. At Hugh, at you, myself. I was blaming everyone for all the things that I had caused. I came to realize these past 100 years, I haven't been living, I've been running. I'm hungry. I'm always gonna be hungry.
Yeah, pretty hungry myself. But there's a difference between you and me, Tony. I don't have the luxury of running. I'm not supposed to get blinding myself to everything else. Satiate my need for violence or a job. Want to blame yourself? Fine. But I have a question for you then. What are you going to change it?
I'm gonna make it right. I'll just leave it at that. You speak to Sunshine about what the job was? What did he ask you of anything?
No. I asked David to retrieve us so you can have your time to talk to your family because you went through a loss. Never had a family myself, but I assume the best person to talk to at that moment is, well, someone else who understands that loss.
It's good. It's reassuring. Have some peace. Gosh, I'd have more peace if I wasn't this fucking hungry.
I guess
Hey.
the IV's not.
No, it's not. It's not. But hey, Simon, when we get a chance, once I'm nice and fed, any chance you could take me to Holy Name Cathedral?
Yeah, I guess I can.
Appreciate it.
Well, Next thing under club, you probably got to go without me though. Left quite a tasteful mark on Hugh.
That's fine. You two never got along anyways.
Yeah, and that's another problem. I think Hugh might be the reason we're dealing with that tally now.
You really think that? Or do you know that?
It's a hunch, I'll admit. But last time you went to talk to someone I told him to deal with, that person ran up to my haven and got us wrapped up in that Elysium. I don't believe in coincidences, Tony.
What you say?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm not gonna tell it a third time.
Okay, outside of character, I have to look up this quote because it's necessary.
Go ahead.
Don't like this. This is so. Gotta find.
Ba, 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 ba. Ah. Something is not causation.
Correlation does not equal causation.
There we go. Okay, back in character. So then I'll tell Simon after he says his quote, and I was like, correlation does not mean causation. Simon.
Yeah, you start throwing out that nonsense. You doing enough detective work.
Shit. I don't say anything. I just say, man, I wouldn't trust him as a detective.
There's always a method to your madness. At least that's what Dana used to say. Never discount the crazy.
Anyways, we gonna stay in this thing the whole night, or you get me out of here?
We can leave, but you need more time here to heal. Or do you really want to go to the cathedral?
Gosh, I'm not desperate to get there, but eventually I gotta make my peace. I gotta go to confession.
Well, can I take any roads to help him out the ratchet traps?
Yeah, you can definitely. Do you undo them normally, or do you slash your way out?
I ain't doing normally.
Takes time. Yeah, Tony, you are free.
Move my limbs about, still aching from hunger.
It's at that point that you'd see the masked face approach and kind of lean against the door frame, or lack of a frame, the concrete that kind of leads into the room, the threshold of the space. You are safe to depart. No one here will. Well, there's not much here. There's not many here who decided to stick around while there's a borderline feral vampire in our HQ.
I appreciate it.
And the way I look at it, we are thinking about moving anyway. Doesn't matter to me whether or not you see what we have here.
Would be wise.
Well, I doubt you and I are gonna meet on the battlefield, Simon.
No, I'm saying to be wise because lupines, vampires, and panic mode.
Lupines. That's what you call werewolves.
Yes. And also, tell David, when you picture those people, avoid it.
The wolves aren't the problem. And apparently, there's only one person that knows who I am. And he looks at Tony. I know it wasn't you. But apparently, some vampire from high up has dispatched, shall we say, what you might call an elite unit. Our intel. Is that what he's called?
The Hound of... Look at Tony.
Oh, he has a spiral tattoo on his forehead.
Question for the storyteller: would I know of this hound?
Yeah. But to what degree? Yeah. Roll me a. I'll take an. Hold on. Let me find that. Make me a. I'll take occult. I'll take. You're taking your time to think on it, so we'll take intelligence occult, intelligence academics, or an intelligence occult. Oh, sorry, occult, politics, or occult politics or academics.
Okay, this is going to be the politics roll.
Okay. Go ahead and send it.
I rolled it.
Oh. One success. What you do know about Tally. First off, there's not as many La Sombra that don't know of him. He's an old La Sombra. One that was especially active during the days of being a part of the Sabbat. You did not know. You knew he was in America, but you didn't know that he was in Chicago. But it makes sense that he's here. This is where the La Sombra are being officially introduced into the Camarilla. It wouldn't be a leap of logic to assume that he is here. But what you do know is that you've overheard Hudson talk about this individual. Seems they were close at one point.
Yeah. I know the name, bits and pieces. He's old. Like older. Like old.
As I told you before, he paid me a visit. Saying Cody will die screaming before he kills me. So I look at Sunshine. Maybe I can do something. Get him off of your tail, at least for a time.
You need to consult your friends first.
No, I have another option. Someone's already raring to go against Hudson. And besides, he told me my Cody's efforts are ruining the La Sombra's chance to get into the Camarilla. So let's keep ruining those efforts.
Do you care to be more specific?
Jessica.
She's one of our targets. She can't be trusted.
No, she can't be trusted to David and John. But I can deal with her. Unfortunately for you, Dave made the mistake or no, they killed someone she loved. And yeah, she's out for blood because of it. It's the outcome of actions. Perhaps I can harness it towards something positive. Or maybe I can't. Either way, Still an innocent girl who got roped into all this nonsense.
I will let the two of you decide what is best to do. And it was good seeing you again, grandfather. Let me know when you have more time.
And before he checks out, I say, hey. And I
You
sigh
see,
before I
he
speak.
goes to grab a trench coat and start to put it on.
And I say, hey. You ever get a chance to put this life behind you? Please. Start a family.
Tony, it's too late for that.
I don't think
I
so.
would
I'm not telling you, I'm just asking you. If you can.
I have tried. But the kind, your kind, vampires, took someone from me. And you see, he looks at you. And while before he was very passive, very, very very nice, it seems, even for his hunter profession, but you see something hard in his eyes. The eyes of a killer. I bring not peace, but a sword. I will take from them what they took from me in God's name.
Looking into those eyes, I would recognize them immediately because when I was young, I had those exact same eyes. And in fact, before my torpor, I had those exact same eyes. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Sorry about it.
It's all right. It is something that I have put behind me.
I will chime in. Don't. But I do have a word from my old friend that you should hold true to, Sunshine.
Yes.
My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is my strength of my heart and my soul forever.
You see a little smile from behind his mask. I'll let them know. Besides, they were mostly curious on how this whole thing ends. And he gestures up to the cam, and he looks up at a camera. And with that, with a flourish, he throws on his coat, the coat that you saw him in a long time ago. It seems to be an old military World War II coat. And he goes to what seems to be a freight elevator. He
Our
goes down.
things, Sunshine.
Say again.
Our things.
As he's descending, you'll find them in the chest over there. The footlocker over there, and he points.
Very well.
And then he descends down the freight elevator.
All right, Tony, let's leave.
Yeah.
And it's on that note that we switch perspectives again to a familiar face, or maybe not so familiar now. Anar, I'm imagining that while you're waiting, what are you doing while Sven goes out
So
to get you new eyes?
yeah, when we left Dinar, he was in, I believe he was in the room of the second or the first. Anyways, he was in one of the rooms with the Dreamers. And he had just
Dreamers,
finished
yes.
feeding. And then he had kind of like sat down next to the Dreamer and was just sitting there holding hands. with the dreamer.
Mm.
And I imagine that a lot of what would be going through Inar's mind right now is, he's still been connected with this coterie, this group of kindred, and there's this like puzzle that's been put in front of him, and this cult and the Veronica, Damien, Marcus, who like he's really only encountered one of them ever, and they've done some work in this, but still it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, and everyone's just dumped all the pieces out, and very few of them he feels has actually been connected together. And so sitting there holding hands with one of his dreamers, and now with Robert having kind of given him this gift and changing his senses, he'd be sitting there almost just meditating on like these different names of Damien, Marcus, and Veronica, the mayor, the cult, and in his mind, just like trying to sort out some of the pieces and draw connections between them.
Yeah. As you do, as you're trying to clear your head and focus and really clear your head of all the distraction and narrow in on these names and what it all means and where the puzzle pieces go. It's almost like you hear the slight click of a tile, almost like the first piece has been set down, and you'd hear another click. Until you start to see an image begins before you of a woman looking out over an ocean, a shore of some kind, or a cliff, wind in her hair. As this almost vision starts to you'd feel the figure almost approaching you. And then you would hear the doorbell ring as if someone has entered the parlor.
I'm going to do my best to stand, and kind of like try and follow the wall, so I can get out into the main area of the basement. And then for like a moment, I'll just kind of listen, right? If you're in a basement, you can hear how people move above you on the floors, and to just see like, is the person inside?
Yeah.
Or are they just waiting outside? So you'd be kind of processing that.
It seems like they're waiting outside. Okay. But if you want to roll me a wits awareness.
My dice is going crazy.
Oh, what does that mean?
I'm going to reload the page. I think I just got a premonition from the dice.
Use a Malkavian, it's fine.
There
we go.
Okay. You can hear the faint sound of crying.
So,
but it seems that she hasn't entered in yet, but she hits the doorbell, like the chime. Yeah, that's all you'd hear. It's just sobbing.
I'm trying to think of my appearance. Like, I imagine at this time I've at least had Sven clean a little bit, so I'm not like the gore fest that I was before.
No. Yeah, I imagine that your injuries have been cleaned up, and there's clean bandages that are over your eyes, and I'm sure.
So, knowing the mental map of the layout of the parlor, I'm going to start making my way upstairs to answer the door.
And how do you answer the door?
Just like silently. Like once I get to the door, I would kind of open it, and step to the side, so you would allow someone to pass through, and just using hearing, feeling, like if I feel them pass through, then I would just close the door behind and turn to address them as best as I could and just wait.
And you'd hear like, I'm so sorry. I was told that you guys were open. The sign wasn't on, but I don't really know where else to go.
No, we're definitely open. Thank you for coming. What can we do for you?
If I'm being honest, I'm feeling lost. I have nowhere to go from here. I I used to believe in fortune telling quite a bit and figured, hell, might as well give it a chance.
Being open to the fortune telling experience is the first step. And I think you're ready.
Oh, what do you mean by that? And she there's like a certain sort of like alarm behind her voice for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I opened the door and you came in. And that's the first step. Just entering the parlor. You could have turned away and gone home.
Okay, yeah. She closes the door. Are you blind, sir? Do you need help?
I'm blind, but I don't need help right now. And I'm just gonna like motion from memory, like back to where the parlor is, where I would read a fortune.
Yeah.
This way.
And she goes back. And you see she there's like a couch, right? Like if I remember correctly, there's already like a chair, and then there's like
It would be like a kind of a small table and then
Mhm.
probably like some chairs around it. So like you could normally it's just 1 to 2 people, but I imagine
Yep.
there would be like 4 chairs so that you could have like a seance if you wanted to.
Yeah. And then as she sits down, you see she's her breathing is shaky. You can't see her or what she looks like. But for a moment, her breath reminds you of the cool waves that you'd hear crash on that coast during the buds of that premonition. Something familiar, yet so alien to you.
And at that point, like, I'd be trying to move in the direction of where I think the chair is that I should sit down in.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah. You know what? Just for comedic sake, roll me a wits awareness. I think this could be a potentially kind of funny. Because I imagine you know where things are. I'm not sure if you know where the chairs are.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're in your room or your living room or wherever, you have a mental image of it. But I imagine if I had been blind for a long time, you'd be much better at this.
Yeah. So it's almost you perfectly sit down in your chair. It's like as if there's not even a bit of hesitation. It's almost as if you're not blind at all.
And so, like, as Anar sits down, like, he'd kind of like sit down, place his hand, his face would be kind of pointed towards the table, and he'd look up and he'd almost just chuckle a little bit. And then he'd just say, I almost didn't believe it when I said I don't need help, but apparently I'm doing quite well.
Is this a new thing then?
Yes and no. Tell me, what do you see when you look around?
There's a hesitation in her voice, and she says, I see a room. I see something that belongs out of a fantasy book. A blind seer. A blind fortune teller. Can't say I've ever experienced that before.
Not too long ago, if I were looking around, I would have seen the same thing. But now, things are changing. And at that point, like, Anar would almost like with sense the unseen, like try to look around the parlor.
Yeah.
And see what looks different in his mind.
Yeah, roll me an Auspex roll. Just Auspex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you feel your senses, but like it's like you're moving a new muscle. It's not quite clear. But you start to see like flickers of things that you know where they are. It's almost like they are as your mind resembles them, but they're like amorphous for a moment. It's like it's not quite sitting where it's supposed to be. There's like almost a cloud of obscuration around it. Things feel heavier for a moment. Things feel like you're moving underwater. Suddenly you're kind of brought. The girl in front of you consumes. Like you feel suddenly you're being shoved underwater and drowned.
You see,
And
before-
suddenly you'd come to.
Before, if I looked around, I would see this room, the things in it. But now, with the way that I am, I see only you. You said you were lost. What would it feel like for you to not be lost?
I just want things to make sense again. That's all. I want things to be right. Because right now they don't make any sense. I don't think you know or you understand my entire life. It's uprooted and gone. God. I think there's... Do you believe in monsters?
Oh. It depends. What is a monster to you?
I think there was a demon living in my walls. I think she, he, they, I don't know. There's something that took him from me. My boyfriend. I got home one night and he was just gone. It was like I saw him, but there was nothing behind his eyes. It's almost like he wasn't anyone. And then it's like everyone around me is just going insane, and I feel like I'm the only sane one. Everyone's telling me, Holly, you're not normal. I'm gonna stop acting crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
Sounds like you might be fighting something.
I don't
What
want to
if you
fight
were to-
anything. I just want things to go back to the way they were.
But we can't go back in time. We can only go forward.
I can't do it. I can't do it at all. I just feel lost. And the only thing that makes sense is that I'm breathing. Nothing else does. I'm seeing things that aren't there. Things
Tell
whisper to me when I'm trying to sleep. I haven't had a good night of sleep for over 3 days.
What do they say to you, the whispers?
Everything that it's like memories and things that I'm ashamed of, things that nothing else should know. And I know there's someone there whispering it to me. And you feel her breath kind of begin to rise and fall, and her breath is shaky and desperate, and it's almost a pantiness to her. With every word, it's almost like she's panting now. It just doesn't mean anything, and I don't want it to be like this. I just want things to make sense again, to just wake up from this bad dream. It feels like I'm fucking drowning and I don't know where to go.
I want to help you. I do. Perhaps you could assist. And like, I'm gonna motion to where I know like the little tea set is that I would make.
She's trying to gain control of herself. Yeah.
Could you bring me, there's the teapot and the glasses. Can you bring them to the table?
Yeah, you'd hear shaky hands of a clattering teapot or a little china. She sets it down, her hands trembling, and you can feel her hold her hand down almost, and you can feel like a wave beginning to undulate around her.
You know, and so like I'm gonna reach out for one of the teacups and like bring it in front of me. There was a time when I felt very much like you, but I think I can help. And so like with my hand, like my thumb will kind of go over the lip of the tea glass, and I'm gonna try and like put my other finger in and slice my thumb a little bit and bleed into the cup. And it's
roll me before you do that, roll me I will take dexterity subterfuge. I will also take dexterity it's not quite the same as larceny, but I'll take that. I'll take dexterity stealth as well, whichever one of those three.
Yep, we'll do.
Or if you have any other ideas, that's fine too. I'm okay if there's a different role that maybe you want to ask.
Dexterity subterfuge is probably the best that I've got for me. So
sure, go ahead and make me that roll when you can. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of successes. Yeah, you do it.
Yeah. So
how many droplets of blood do you get in there? Just for flavor.
I'd be trying to do a good squeeze, so like once you open the wound, like squeezing a ketchup packet into it. And then after that, like the hand going out to find the pot of water and then filling in over.
She goes to help you.
Yes.
She's going to roll me a wits awareness to see if she noticed. You can't really see what she's doing, but she appears to be oblivious. And as you do, you kind of go through the ritual of making your tea. You just hear sobbing from the other side of the table.
Yeah, and once that's finished, I would then like try and like pick.
Really quick, is this the specialty?
So there's no drugs in it this time, just my blood and then tea.
Okay.
And And so like I pick up the glass that I bled into and like move it forward and set it down. Say like, this is one of those next steps.
What does that
before we
mean?
You have to believe that I can help you. And this is something of a symbolic gesture, that you're open to the vision.
To the vision? Yeah, whatever it takes. And you hear the teacup be suddenly taken. This is the most quickly you've seen this decision made. And slowly down the hatch, you can almost feel your blood running down your throat. Maybe even a sense of triumph through Anar's body, Anar's mind. What are you thinking about right now?
There's so much that she described that like Anar would remember when he first met Robert. Like such similar feelings. And so he like genuinely wants to help her. Like if a Malkavian could honestly be showing empathy for someone, they would. But it's that skewed, right? Like he knows what she needs. And I don't know if that's what she's looking for, but she's about to get a dose of it.
Yeah. So she, after drinking it, she just says, so now what?
Think about all the whispers. Think about your boyfriend who left.
He didn't leave! That's not what happened! He's not himself! He's claiming that he's never met me! It's not about him leaving! He's just not there anymore!
So perhaps a part of him has left.
You don't understand.
No, but maybe you do now. Think about it all again.
You just hear more sobbing. And you just hear the sobs continue and continue until What is this feeling? I feel like I know you. Like I've always known you. But this is my first time meeting you. That doesn't make any sense.
Perhaps you're opening yourself up to new things. Do you feel less lost with me?
I don't know. It's a different feeling. But I think you're the only one that would ever believe me. I think you're the only one that could really understand. No one that I know of remembers me. They pretend like I don't exist, that I've never existed. And that's insane, right? I have memories with these people. Entire experiences, and then now, but at the same time, none of them seem familiar. But I know them. I know these people, but it's like I never existed to them. And I don't know how else I can say it, but I feel like someone's just pulling a giant prank on me, and I'm just waiting for the cameras to be shown, but there's nothing. Outside my window, I feel like I'm being watched all the time. I'll see eyes where there are none. In the walls. They follow me. I haven't told anyone this, but I tried to end it all. And I'm still alive. Doesn't make sense. I've tried. I always just... It just never goes anywhere. Nothing ever changes. I'm just waking up and repeating the same cycle over and over again. I wake up next to him. He screams. He doesn't know who I am. I look at him. His eyes are dead. It just goes on and on and on every single night. Every single day, I'll have these moments of lucidity and they'll melt away. It's like they were never mine. Like, my mind isn't mine. What does that even mean? It feels like someone just kicked out my brain and decided to take it.
They're difficult feelings. But the more you fight them, the more you may be missing what they're trying to show you.
Show me what?
Who you are.
I'm Holly. What are you talking about?
No. Did you ever look out over the ocean, over a cliff?
Yeah, all the time. We had a home in Oregon. Grandfather had a nice place out there. It was nice. It was very beautiful. The waves made such pretty colors in the sunset. I'm sorry, who are you again?
I'm the seer.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for the tea. I really should get going. I'm not sure exactly. You'll have to excuse me. Good night.
I'll see you again.
And like as she gets up, I'm gonna do a focused premonition on her.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and give me that roll. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to need a minute. I'm going to come back to this in a moment.
Sounds good.
We're going to switch perspectives over back to Colton, if I may. After leaving basement, Colton, where are you going? The night is fresh. So much to do. So much of the night to live, or for that, I guess Kindred would rather say thrive. The streets around the hospital are busy. Cars pulling moisture off of the asphalt. Seems like it's been a rainy night tonight. Soft rain drizzles down. You can feel the cold rain crash against your cold flesh.
Colton might see about Tony. He remembers that Tony did end up losing an establishment, and Colton's just kind of gained one, so he wants to make sure Tony's doing alright, I guess.
Tony, you don't have a phone, I don't think. No, you definitely don't. You have your pager.
Yeah.
Now I think Colton, you did have a phone, correct? Remind me if you did or not. I think you
I
did.
think
You had
I
like a
ended
cheap
up,
flip phone.
Yeah, I accepted one out of reluctance.
Yeah. So you have access to the coterie. Is there anyone specific that you would like to call? I don't think you can call everyone but Tony.
Well, remind me again, storyteller, what were the circumstances of my departure?
Oh, it just was getting late and you guys got out of the sewer.
And the parting words didn't include plans.
No, it was kind of everyone's kind of seemed in a hurry, especially Crimson Rose seemed especially in a hurry. She left rather quickly and maybe catching the hint as well. Perhaps maybe you did as well. You followed suit.
I'll think about slinging probably Crimson a text, but as drops land on the flip phone, I'll decide against it. I'll stick it back in the pocket and I'll just end up going to where the Italians hang out. Maybe I'll nose around the traditional way.
You do know that Tony does have a new club, Fortuna, I believe. Nope. Yeah, Fortuna, right? Tony? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do, I think.
All right. Moving perspectives back to Simon and Tony. Hey, quit crabbing it up, you goofs. What are you doing? All right. What are you two doing, Simon and Tony? As I described, the night is young. You're kind of in an old, abandoned, what seems to be a radio broadcasting center. All of its fancy equipment is gone, except for the under levels, the sub levels, where a lot of the servers used to be held. You see a lot of it was retrofitted to fit various purposes. It seems to be a hunter hideout. It doesn't seem to belong to any one cell, Simon, but you see that it's kind of like a little go spot in the city.
And I'll simply remark, so we're in a good place to hunker down in a while ago.
So, curious, question for the storyteller. At this point, would we have been cleaned up, or are we still, like, gross from the sewer?
I'd say you'd probably be cleaned up.
Okay.
Your suit probably doesn't look great. But you have other suits at your other locales.
Probably have an office at Fortuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to feed.
Yeah. Like, Simon, we need to take a step at Fortuna. I need a...
Feed.
Yeah, I need to get my fix.
Suppose we can go. Is any vehicles out or is out the boons out here?
Yeah, no, there's plenty. Traffic is heavy as per normal for Chicago. It wouldn't be hard to flag down a cabbie.
I will flat down a cabbie.
As you do, is there just to make things simple, is there any conversation to be had, or is it relatively quiet?
That depends on Mr. Moreno.
I'm not in a talkative mood. I'm very reflective, just thinking over... Finally actually thinking over the past 100 years of his own life. And really really taken stock and account of how empty all that really was, and come to the realization the only thing that really mattered to him, even in the glimpses of the moments of his own life, were his family. That's what's running through his head.
So, for narrative's sake, we'll say that as soon as this might be a little quinky dink of me, but sue me. As the car pulls up, as the cabbie pulls up, you would likely see a figure approaching. Colton, if you could be, it's been a while since we've seen you, and we don't know what your fit is for today, for lack of a better phrase. What does Colton look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think thieving anything out of the hospital would be worth wearing around. I guess I'd probably just have an old leather duster, tattered. Yeah.
It would almost look like a revenant staring at Fortuna. Something that belongs in a ghost story. Through the soft rain, you'd see a figure in a torn duster, as Colton described. The leather cinching down, despite the wind, it barely moves. It almost looks unnatural. But you two would definitely recognize it as Colton. As slowly approaching the bar Fortuna.
Seems you have company.
We know him. It's alright. So, do we step out? Like, do we meet him? Like, are we facing?
Yeah, that's up to you. That's up to you. Do you go out to meet him, or do you go into Fortuna to talk?
So, yeah, I'll get up out of the cab. You know, pay the cabbie his due.
You're probably not wearing a suit. You're probably wearing like a sweater.
Yeah.
Like you know what? Fuck it. Like an I Love Wisconsin sweater and some sweatpants.
Sunshine's got a sense of humor. But yeah. But no, I'll go up to Colton. You know, shake his hand respectfully. What brings you here?
Oh, I haven't really had much time in a casual setting, besides that one place I got blown up.
Yeah, do me a favor, don't blow this one up. Well, who am I talking about? I was the one that did that.
I'll be good.
Hey, for what it's worth, I appreciate you saving my skin back then.
You two can just hug already.
Anyways,
That's your system.
I'm fucking starving. It's fucking cold, and I need a change of clothes. Come on, let's go. So we go inside Fortuna.
Yep. And you see the one of the guys there is like, "Whoa, we got a dress code here, buddy." Oh shit! Sorry, Tony, I didn't notice you. I've never seen you wearing anything like this.
Yeah. No, it's real fruity. Yeah, don't ask. I'm gonna go change when I get
Wisconsin.
to the office.
When were you at Wisconsin?
Yeah, don't fucking ask. Hey, is Isaiah in right now?
Yeah, Isaiah's in. He's doing the bar thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to him in a bit. I'm gonna go to the office and change real quick. Hey, treat these two real nice. They're
But what about this guy? He looks like he's off of fucking The Crow or some shit.
I'll get up to him real close. I mean, is he referring to Simon or is he referring to?
He's referring to the fucking Colton.
Okay. And I'll get up real close to the bouncer real quick. Hey, like, you still put people in soup back in the kitchen?
What? You see, he like blinks, totally like flabbergasted. What?
What's the name of this kid?
We'll say his name is fuck. We'll say his name is
Isaiah. I'm blind.
Not
No,
Isaiah.
Get
no,
another
not Isaiah.
Damien.
Yeah, another day. We'll just say another Damien. We'll say that
Giorgio.
his name is Jesse. We'll say
Jesse? Oh, okay. I was gonna say what
Jesse.
Jesse.
James,
okay. Calm down, everyone. Fuck off.
Team Rocket.
So then I'll shove his shoulders like, come on, Jesse, how long you been in this business? You don't know about putting people in soup?
No. What in the psychopath shit are you talking about?
Never mind, it's okay. The less you know, the better.
I hope you're
Anywho.
joking. They put
Oh.
people in the soup. I eat that soup.
Not the soup you eat, okay? Don't you worry.
Good
What do you
soup,
mean
isn't
the
it?
soup that I eat? What soup?
A question for the storyteller: does Fortuna also run like a back of the kitchen for the no do-gooders?
Never
that
do
go
wells.
back in the near do wells in the freezer, and then like they chop up in the soup and then put it in the thing.
No, I don't know if they
Italian
chop them up into
mafia.
soup, but
Yeah.
like probably not at this stage.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of new stuff going on here. I doubt
Yeah.
you have time to really get into that yet.
Yeah. But no,
Maybe
it's-
back at Paradise, that's how things will
Yeah.
run, but not quite here at Fortuna. They're just trying to get their footsteps, get their footsteps going.
Yeah, so then I would say to Jesse, oh, excuse me, I overspoke. But yeah, no, this guy, Brandon Lee is welcome.
Okay. Right this way, Mr. Lee.
Get him a private booth so he doesn't spook out the rest of the customers.
Yeah, and that's where he takes them. So it's right now Simon and Colton in a private booth, both looking like one's looking like he's out of the Blade, and the other one is looking like he's out of the Crow. Black sunglasses and like leather vest and all that.
So you're still alive, Colton?
Yeah. Well, someone hit me with the 38, not the 44, so I survived this time.
You to have the most unfortunate luck I know.
Uh-huh.
The most fortunate misfortune.
I kind of had a bit of a repeat of when we first met.
You go to someone that hit you again.
Yeah.
I always wondered, why'd you take it? Why'd you hit back?
It's a bit shy talking about this, but I don't know. It's like remember back when you were a person, and maybe you felt a little.
It was Ginger. I know it. That's what I said.
Stop the cap.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good. It's fine. It's okay. Where were we?
Colton.
Yeah, Colton. It's all you.
Yeah, but anyway, wearing all this skin. feels like I'm out of place all the time. So I don't mind if it gets a little banged up.
Out of place. Feeling.
Hey,
I'm hungry.
didn't that Christ guy say to turn the other cheek?
Yes. But I feel like a lot of people take that one out of context. Or feeling their own.
Hmm. So what have you two been up to? Kill anyone I know?
Well, no. Tony almost killed himself, but he got better.
Still missing his girl?
Not for me to say.
It's on that note, Tony, as you're donning your new suit, slicking your hair back, it's going through your head.
Just thinking about this is a nice bar. This is a nice place. But, I'm gonna go talk to Isaiah. Yeah, I think he's ready.
Isaiah, I imagine that as you poke your head out, how do you approach him? See, he's behind the bar at the moment, cleaning glasses as one does. Maybe organizing the liquor shelves as he does, kind of glancing about where things could look better. This is your first time describing this new place. Do you want to describe it, or do you want me to?
I trust your descriptions.
Yeah, I imagine it's similar to Paradise, but I think there would be more gold, fortuna, fortune. I'm imagining there's more gold and brass, red curtains, sometimes burgundy. A lot of old school wooden tables, lacquered with almost to perfection, to the point where you can see reflection in it. And almost, if someone could think of a speakeasy and try to recreate it, Fortuna would do a pretty good job.
Mm.
So as you approach Isaiah, hey Tony, what have you been up to?
You know, same old, same old. No good.
All right, well, is there anything I can do to help?
It's all right, Isaiah. Listen, there's something I want to talk to you about. Okay.
What is it, boss?
I think in the next couple days I'm gonna be skipping town for a bit. I'm not sure when I'll be coming back, and I'm wondering. Actually, I don't need to wonder because you've been taking care of this place wonderful in my absence. So I just want to let you know I appreciate it.
Boss, you can't leave.
No, you don't understand, Isaiah. There are things bigger than me right now that are happening. It's outside of my control.
Boss,
Yes,
you're the biggest guy I know. You're the biggest personality, and you're the biggest guy.
Isaiah, don't rub it in. Look. I'm telling you this, I'm not asking you, alright? In my absence.
Tony, this is because of you.
And I slam my table on the bar and I look at him. My face is still calm.
You see a couple of the patrons kind of jump. Simon and Colton, you would hear a sudden slam on the counter, almost breaking up the otherwise smooth jazz.
And let's just say these simple words. She's yours now. Take good care of her, alright?
You see a tear welling up in Isaiah's eye.
And I'll
For a
reach out my
moment.
hand so that I can shake it.
You shake it?
No, I reach out my hand so that he can
Oh,
shake
so you can shake it. Okay, gotcha. You see he shakes your hand with the firmest grip he possibly can.
Now nod my head. You go far, kid. You go far.
But Tony, what about you?
Whatever happens to me is none of your concern.
What are you talking about? Of course it's my concern.
Hey, look, listen. I'm sure in the time that we were together in Paradise, you know that I'm associated with some unsavory types. Yeah?
Yeah, of course, but
The less you know, the better, Isaiah. Trust me, you don't want to get your nose into any of this.
is this about some shit that you and Hurt talk about? Because I I don't drop any eaves, but I definitely like.
Hey, which reminds me, hey, call his ass here.
Like now?
Yeah, sure. See if he's up at this hour.
Sure, boss.
And then the meanwhile, before Hurt gets over here, I'm gonna go mosey on over to Colton and Simon up until the point that Hurt arrives.
Okay.
Fellas. You're muted, Simon.
You would probably notice that I'm just staring at Hurt.
As Hurt isn't there yet.
Hurt isn't there yet.
Oh, all right. Then. I'm gonna say Tony.
So, what a mess.
Colton just tell me how out of place he feels.
Well, yeah, no shit. He's dressed like Crow, you're dressed like Blade. I'm the only one that's actually dressed up. I don't know if I got a suit that fits either. Yeah, I don't think we're built the same.
I think my suit wearing days are over.
What makes you say that?
I don't have that job anymore. No. Danny DeLove teased me about ties.
Did you pick out your suit?
She like, I would stop, and my mind would go back to the fact that Tony is kind of the one who handed her over. And
What? That
Oh.
I mean Tony?
Yeah, Tony is it. I'll go to answer and I stopped realizing that Tony was the one to, hand her over to Hudson.
And then coming to the realization that the reason why you stopped him, like, and I'd stop myself, I'd turn my head like, sorry, I asked.
Colton, while this conversation is going on, what are you doing?
I'm looking around the establishment, seeing if I imagine it's doing well.
Yeah, there's not a big crowd, but it's definitely like it's still early on in the night.
I'm gonna go, and then after that, I'll just, be honest, be like, well, I did say I'm fucking starving, so I'm gonna go wits awareness and see if there's any lonely dames about.
Sure.
Any. Oh, jeez.
Oh, we're gonna come back to that. That's a
Goodness.
lot. That's a what you call an oopsie poopsie. All right, we'll be right back on that one. In the meantime, Hugh and Crimson, what are you two up to?
Well, she hasn't been in the shower that long, but when she did get out of the shower, she would still like dripping wet, like just black smeared all over her face. She'd stare into the mirror, just think about what she's going to do, and how it reminds her of how Damien gets what he wants, and how she's scared she might turn into what he is.
You remember hearing something. You don't remember who said it. Or maybe you do. But the blood has a will of its own. Maybe your decisions aren't that of your own. Maybe it's already been decided. Maybe that's just superstition.
Hearing that over and over again, she'd start seething and just stare at herself in the mirror and remind herself that she will not become what he is. She'd punch the mirror.
As your fist collides with the mirror, the camera hangs over your shoulder. As we see just a series of cracks making a million different roses. And Anar, as you active premonition, it's like there's a moment where everything around you shatters. And our perspective goes immediately from the hundreds of roses from the fractured glass to 100 images of that woman staring over the sea and her jumping. The perspective follows her down and down beneath till you see a room of blue where you see spouts sticking out of necks. You see a woman for a moment, not the same woman. You see blue phantoms dancing a macabre dance around corpses with siphons sticking out of their necks. No, maybe not siphons, excuse me, spouts, metal spouts, like one you would put on a beer keg. You would see people dancing, dancing more. Their debauchery reaching far into the night, and it's then that you see a spider weaving a web. And the more she weaves, the more beautiful it gets. And you see this woman, maybe for the first time, her eyes green and large, innocent almost, long black hair, freckles. Very pleasant and youthful looking, getting more and more wrapped up in more and more webs until you see her getting pulled apart from every direction. And you see all of the people dancing, feasting on what's left of her. And then, Anar, for a moment, you feel like you're looking at Crimson Rose from behind a mirror. Crimson, what are you doing? Are you like panting as you're staring at this mirror?
She punches it,
Yeah,
continues
I know.
to stare into it.
I know. Okay, so you punched it, and then now you're staring into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would just see for a moment, Anar, since you've seen Crimson for the first moment, from behind a mirror, it seems. And then, like that, she's gone. And again, you're shown this woman, and you see the spiders putting her back together. And you see this has happened over and over and over again. She goes, the spiders rip her apart and then put her back together, rip her apart and put her back together over and over and over again. But there's a familiar sensation you couldn't quite place. Maybe something to do with Crimson. And our perspective is going to go almost like a split screen of Crimson and Anar. Anar, coming out of this vision, what do you look like as this woman makes her way out of your shop?
Trying to, if I recall correctly, she said her name was Holly.
Yep, Holly.
So like Anar's sitting there, like both hands on the table. He doesn't really close his eyes anymore, you know. But if anything, there would just be like, you know, maybe a twitch as he's coming out of it. And then he would just call out, Holly?
You see, you hear the footsteps stop. And it's at this point. Oh, you can go. Sorry.
Yeah.
This was just the first step, Holly. I can't see you as you see me, but I think I see someone I know. In you, through you. A rose.
It's in that point that you'd hear a voice, almost deadened. The rose rots. Over and over and over again. And it sounds kind of like Holly's voice, but it sounds distorted. Like she's forcing herself to say things. And that just noise is just coming out of her. Like it's involuntary. And it's that point that she looks at you. Well, you wouldn't be able to tell. But our perspective can. Her freckles and green eyes stare at you in silence and alarm as she slams the door. And there, with Tony's bestial failure, Crimson's meltdown in front of the mirror, is where we'll end our session of Vampire the Masquerade. For now.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a quick round the digital table. Not quite pros cons favorite moment, but the audience feel free to give us pros, cons, and favorite moments. Pros, things that we did right that you liked. Cons, things that maybe I could have done better, or something our cast could have done better, or whatever. Just ways to recommend the show get better, and then but try to, like I said, leave us some something where we have something to work with. But yeah, we'll do. Who wants to go first? In as far as like just overall feelings at the end of the session, how things went. Like I said, yeah, all that. Sorry, I'm kind of out of it. That was a lot.
I'll go. I thought it went really well. For some reason, like it's always been real. Like I've been in it, but for some reason, after last episode and this one, it's just all sinking in like very intensely, and it's becoming very like I don't know, personal. Like
Mhm. Is that a good thing?
No, it is a good thing. It's
Okay.
a good thing.
I want to know if it's like a good feeling or a
No,
bad
it is.
feeling.
It's a
If
good
it's a
feeling.
bad feeling, we don't want bad
No,
feelings.
no.
We want
It's a good
we
feeling.
want good bad feelings.
Yeah. It's a good bad feeling.
Okay, good.
Like I want things to go well, but
Okay.
it's
It's the
vampire.
That's personal horror, right?
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
personal horror. That's
it's
it.
like it's good bad. I want it to go good, but it's not going to, you know?
Yeah. Who knows?
I thought you did the split between everyone really well. Yeah,
We'll be doing is hard.
No, I know, but yeah, it was really good. I'm glad you focused on Tony and Colton. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Like I said, if you are watching this and you have something to say, definitely put it in chat, and then we'll read it after we kind of go around the table and get overall feelings about how the session went. Does anyone want to go next? Like, it's open forum. If anyone wants to go.
Yeah, I can go. It was good, sort of this kind of interlude, right? So after some big events, and then basically having everyone pulled apart, so you get pieces of everyone's characters. So it's a bit of enrichment, with everyone kind of doing their thing. I thoroughly enjoyed making you have to hit the pause button and go away by throwing a premonition right as she's trying to leave, and I was like, I was gonna do it eventually. So
No, I was hoping that I would get you to. I was hoping
Yeah.
that maybe you'd forget a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, but that was always fun. And then like Tony throwing a bestial failure at you. We got you to pause twice. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you got me to pause twice. If I was Logan, I'd be like, I need a second. And I would get up and go take a fucking smoke break.
Yeah.
But I don't smoke anymore. God damn it.
Good session, very immersive. I like the music queuing up with everything. So yeah, very much enjoyed it. I think of everything that happened, I don't know. I think Colton's like awesome thin blood brawl kiss jaw rip off like that imagery. I was just like, that's a vampire smooch right there. So I really enjoyed that.
That
Also,
was fucking metal as fuck, dude.
News drop: he has a dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Copycat.
That's me.
Speaking of my dog,
it's all setting up for. Oh no, he's not forgotten. He's hanging out at your place. Remember, that's where you left him.
Oh yeah. Actually, I took him to the sewer, and we went to the other entrance, and he just got a devour from there. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no. It's still up for grabs.
Liked the session. Thought it was pretty good, even with us switching perspectives a lot, because I know we're all like split up again.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody got their little moment, and I really liked how Mackenzie was acted out. Felt like every scene with Colton goes to like a Silent Hill-esque kind of situation.
Dude.
Yes.
So that was really good. I don't know. It was a good session, though. I liked it.
I think this was actually my favorite session in a while. And that's saying a lot, because there's been some really fucking fire sessions.
You said that quite often.
You said that last. You said
I
that
know.
You said that last.
I know.
It's been
The
good
session before
lately.
that.
I think the extra prep that like I do is now starting to really pay off, and I'm just watching the plants grow, and it's just like, yes, grow on the blood of the sacrifices of whatever. Anyway, yeah, who wants to go next?
I forgot. I have a comparing Colton to the Crow when you've never fucking seen the Crow.
Wow.
I know
Have
the
you actually not seen it?
Oh, shit.
No, he hasn't.
Wow, you're gonna really put me on blast like that on
I
stream,
I
on
am.
fucking stream.
Piss me
God
off.
damn.
You know what to watch next.
Fake
Yes.
fan.
My camera froze.
Brendan
Okay,
does a
counter
really good
question.
job.
Ruh-roh. He does. Rest in peace.
Serious.
Hold on.
Kind of
one
question,
second.
Rose.
Hold on.
You watch Blade?
Yes, I've seen Blade.
Which one?
I actually haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I've
Seen all
seen
of
clips,
them.
but I haven't
Silent
seen
Hero
it.
Journey Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Silent
Okay,
Hero
I
Journey.
turned off my camera and back on. Hopefully that unfucks it. I don't think it fixed it. I think it's worse. I think things are worse. I think I look more psychopathic.
Ruh-roh.
What is happening? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I just am existing. I'll try it again. Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Is it fixed now?
Hey, let her
copyright
cook.
now.
Let her cook. Let her cook. Shut the fuck
All right,
up.
we can just continue while you're looking at my dumb, ugly mug smiling like a goon. You just made it so much worse. Oh God, this is. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You made it bigger. You psychopath. Okay.
I got a
anyway.
con. It made me Arthur Fist. Tony, what's that fucking feedback?
Arthur meme. Yes.
What's that feedback, Tony? God damn it.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
All
it's
right.
me?
Well,
Yeah.
Do you have a fan going or something?
No, my fan's off. Actually, let me turn this thing off. If you
Rachel, it's back. Rachel, this is like my sleep paralysis demon now. Thanks.
Oh no.
Does that help?
Yes. I don't know what you did, but it's
Yeah.
gone now.
Okay, that's
No,
interesting.
go back to a black
What was
screen. This
it?
looks
Is it
awful.
there?
Okay.
It's back now.
So-
It's back now. It's back now.
Wait,
Me?
wait. No, shush. Tony, talk. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Okay. Anyway, so what about everyone else? Colton, you've been pretty quiet.
Sounds like you just need to kind of plug it in a little more or something. Anyway, yeah. Cons. Neural cons. I think maybe it's hard to balance, but a few of the scenes were swapped perspective at awkward moments. But we'd have to knowingly bookend stuff, which is something that the players would need to be thinking about. So it's not really a con for you. But yeah, pros. I liked a lot of your descriptions, and you were pretty forthcoming with them, which was good.
Thanks. All right. Simon, you've said something. I think everyone's kind of said something. All right, let's roll.
I had another pro.
Oh, go for it.
You trusted me to just be silent in response to this guy just kind of blabbing and looking weak. So.
Yeah.
I got a pro. Finally, maskless. You unmasked the balaclava, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
The Joshua Graham was
Yeah. You know, yeah. There's something behind that. It's a good archetype. Now, on that note, before we wrap things up here,
Did Tony go?
Oh, I could say some things.
Yeah, you can go. Like, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I think a big pro for me, ironically, is the Jungian synchronicity that is occurring in my life so much more that it ties into the character that is Tony. So I'm able to put myself thoroughly and authentically into Tony in ways I didn't anticipate. Yeah, it's pretty cool. No, just because like I can feel authentically what he felt like when I saw Anthony's eyes, you know, and just that connection, and then that sudden that relief, but then that pain, that horror. But like no, my favorite scene definitely, for sure, the interaction between Colton and Sean, because it's like as you had put it, you know, like that Silent Hill type horror. It's not that like quick fast jump scare. It's that slow creeping, quiet, and Colton does a really good job at voicing that. You know, he's not like loud and it's just like
Oh man, I'm gonna say it. I don't think it's Silent Hill. He gets straight up bitch made that food. Let's keep.
What did he say?
He straight up bitch made shy. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, check this gangster. Real
Yeah,
quick.
check this gangster. That was some. Yeah, that was.
bluff. Holy shit.
But no, I don't have any cons. I don't know what this feedback is. I'm trying to figure out what that is, but that's new. That's never happened before.
Yeah, it is kind of new.
Simon, you can't be mad.
Yes, I can.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
I don't even know what the cause is. Like,
Okay, hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
let's keep it relevant. Does anyone else have any last or by the ways before we start wrapping things up? All right. We do have our art by credit.s1. If you have any commissions, feel free to hit her up. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to oblige and give her your patronage, do all that fun stuff. And then we also have our music credits that was shown for a second. But yeah, I think that's everything. I know this was a very heavy and dark session, and I want everyone who was here and everyone who is watching this and going on this journey with us. Thank you, truly. Shut up. You ruined the whole fucking moment. All right, get out of here, you filthy animals. I'll see you on the next time. Good night.